All right, so Kanye West has been very much in the news. He started popping up more so, I think, when he was attending Candace Owens. She has this new documentary out about BLM. I can't remember the title of it, but I can't wait to watch it actually myself. Because they were both sporting these White Lives Matter shirts, and now apparently, okay, I'll start with this one. So George Floyd's family is threatening to possibly sue Kanye West for saying that George Floyd died of fentanyl overdose during a podcast that he was on, where the rapper also implied that Kris Jenner, 66, had sex with Drake, 35. Um, Civil rights activist and attorney Lee Merritt said George Floyd's family was considering suing Kanye West, 45, over, I can't believe he's only 45, over his claim that Floyd's died from a fentanyl overdose instead of police brutality. West made the claim during an appearance on Revolt TV's Drinks Champs podcast while giving. I gotta get Kanye on my podcast. That's how I'm gonna get into the Daily Mail. I've decided.
Heck
While
yes.
giving a glowing review of the Candace Owens documentary. Oh, it's called "The Greatest Lie Ever Sold: George Floyd's and the Rise of BLM." Merritt said the Floyd family considered. I never know whether to read this or to read the whole article. Maybe I'm just retarded. These are obviously the bullet points.
Yeah, I like that they give you the Cliff's Notes version. It's kind of nice.
It's like, look, we know you don't have time. We know that you're just a headline reader, so let's just give you a couple more headlines so you have some clue what's going on. Merritt said the Floyd family considered West's comments to undermine them in their fight, although he conceded that it is not possible to defame someone who is dead. West also ranted that the Jewish media blocked a recent interview that he did on HBO's The Shop with the show's co-host, saying that the rapper's segment was pulled because of his use of hate speech. Oh, is this when he? I thought there was a tweet or something, and people were claiming that Kanye was like going after the Jews or that he was like anti-Semitic. I don't like fully understand that. He also reiterated in an earlier claim that the Louis Vuitton designer Virgil Abloh's death was due to the famed fashion house. Well, this is all over the place, isn't it? In further anti Semitic remarks, West said Jewish people have owned the black voice. I mean, if he means it in the sense that, like, if you look at the media and like legacy news and if he knows the people who work in these industries since he is in that industry, I mean, that's tricky. Like, if he's just noticing what's around him. But again, people love to come after Kanye because he is not, in lockstep with like the message that they want black celebrities to be constantly pushing.
Right. I I was talking to a friend about this recently, and his take on Kanye was that he's so easily influenced by
Mm.
whatever group he's hanging out with. Because he's like, I think he's a brilliant guy, but he starts getting influenced by the people he's hanging around. Because he said, back when he was hanging out with a bunch of very liberal people, and he went through his George Bush hates black people phase or whatever, he said, you know, once those people started sort of rejecting him and the things he was saying, then he moved on to a different group and a different group, and he sort of takes on the persona of the people that he's hanging out with. And I thought that's kind of an interesting
Mhm.
take on it, because it does sort of seem that way.
He's suggestible.
Mm-hmm.
God, I kind of used to be that way though.
Yeah, I think we're all
But
kind of that way, huh?
somebody told me once that they thought I would be a great candidate to join a cult, and I'm like, wow. And then I kind of backed off talking about astrology and crystals so much. I'm like, hey.
Maybe not.
Yeah,
That's
there was a
hilarious.
phase where I would like every maybe 6 months I would pay to have this guy do my chart. He would come up to the chart, like I would pull into a parking lot and like call him on the phone. I think for like an hour or two, he just like reads you his interpretation of your chart and then like, what's coming up for you. And like I could get to a place where I would truly obsess about that, and then instead of just your life, and you forget that you do have choice and you do have control. Like you're not completely at the mercy of the stars, I guess. Although I would say I wouldn't completely discount it. It's just like when you obsess.
Right. It is. I think that is kind of what happens to him. Maybe like he gets fixated on something and then starts to obsess about it, and then I it really stinks, because I feel like you end up having to put him in the same category with some of the things that Donald Trump would do, where you would be like, gosh, if you just wouldn't tweet all the time, or if you just
Mhm.
wouldn't say every little thing that's on your mind, you'll get so many other people on your team if you just maybe just pull back a tiny bit on some of the things.
Okay, so it sounds like you think maybe he's just a little bit out too much out there with his with like a lot of opinions, and maybe he should just cool it a little.
I mean, that's all of us, right? Like sometimes,
True. True.
sometimes, I mean, haven't you ever started constructing a tweet and then you read it to yourself and you're like, oh, maybe I shouldn't, like you just, maybe today's not the day. Sometimes you
Some
have
days
to self censor a little bit.
some days I do go back to my tweet drafts and I'm just like, "Oh, wow." Like, people do not care what you're about to eat. He stated, right. I mean, you're gonna get in trouble anytime you mention the words Jewish media, I think anywhere, even though people could probably figure it out, like, they're pretty
Right.
involved with that, but that's the thing, is like they're gonna jump down your throat once you start saying it. He would cancel one of the hosts for saying, "Fuck Black Lives Matter." Interesting. I mean, he was on fentanyl. So,
I mean, he's not the first person to say that either, right? I
yeah,
mean, there've been quite a few other people who have said they thought that his death was drug related more so than what happened, but I don't think he's the first person to have
he's
said
definitely not
that.
the first person to say that. And also, like, there are a shit ton of fentanyl deaths every year in this country. Like, I think it's the number one killer. It's
That's
definitely the
pretty.
number one, like, drug to overdose on.
Mhm.
There they go. There's their shirts. Some people think, oh, he's just, he sees a market basically like, of angry, angry white people who are sick of racism, and that he wants to just sell these shirts to. But
I mean,
either
so
way,
I'm pro capitalism, so yeah, go make your money, Kanye, or yay. I want to get it right.
yeah. What happened to the con?
Right.
He's just yay now. The Life of Pablo rapper also declared that his one-time rival Drake was the greatest rapper ever, and he went on to insinuate that his former mother-in-law Kris Jenner had sex with Drake. West said, "Yeah, that was hard. It mean. Wait, what it mean? Wow, either I can't read or this is
Know
not a
that you
sentence.
know it what it means.
You know it what it mean. Corey knows that it mean. The Corey is, of course, Jenner's longtime boyfriend, Corey Gamble, who West has previously referred to as being godless. During the interview, West also said that Jewish people have owned the Black voice, whether it's through us wearing a Ralph Lauren shirt, or it's all of us being signed to a record label, or having a Jewish manager, or being signed to a Jewish How many Jewish basketball teams are there?
Huh.
Or doing a movie on a Jewish platform like Disney. Damn. All right, I can see where people would take issue with that. He continued, I respect what the Jewish people have done and how they brought their people together. They came into money through the lawyers after God, this almost sounds like one of my dad's rants. After Wall Street, when all the Catholics they wouldn't divorce people. So when the Jewish people came in, they were willing to divorce people, and that's when they came into their money. Wow. West said that he and other black people are the darker Jews, as they are part of the 12 lost tribes of Israel. We're Jewish also. We're from Africa also. We're the blood of Christ. We're not just black, he went on. The rapper said the venture capitalist Ben Horowitz once called him to complain that JC was giving away Jewish business secrets.
What?
What?
I just
This is a lot to unpack. I don't
I
even know enough to like have an opinion on this.
I don't either. I feel like it's such a slippery slope because I feel like anti-Semitism is rampant and I feel like it doesn't get addressed the way other issues of race or religion or sexual preference or whatever get addressed. But I
Hmm.
feel like with some of this, I'm not sure where he's coming from. I want to know like what sparked this, like what made
Mhm.
him go, I'm going to go on this tear about
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to know like what prompted him to start firing off about this because I think he had a lot of people during that Tucker interview. I think he had a lot of people on board with, all right, he's pro life and like I'm Team EA or whatever. And then he came out with these comments, and then everyone was like, well, hold on, I wouldn't say I'm fully supporting anything Kanye's saying. So it's just I don't know. He kind of takes like one step forward, two steps back sometimes.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I wonder if he's his time in Hollywood, like, who knows? Is he MK Ultra? Is he wrapped up in like the Kris Jenner management world? Like, I feel like Pete Davidson is starting to get wrapped up in that. Like he's, I think he's like just in their crew now, or like represented by their people or something. Okay, I don't know if this is interesting. Let's see. Oh, this is more of his rant. George Floyd, I can prove that somebody wasn't on his neck. We don't even care about that. Yay. Does it really matter at this point? Like, people already have formed their opinions on what happened with George Floyd. So it's like you either kind of dig in, and anytime you believe something that's outside the mainstream and you really go hard on it, like, you risk being kind of labeled a conspiracy theorist. And I guess you kind of have to either accept what comes along with that or don't. You toe the line.
I want to know. I mean, Kris Jenner, I kind of think he may be telling the truth about Kris Jenner there. I mean, she has been linked to some much, much younger men. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, and I remember, God, when I was interviewing one of the writers for Charlemagne's show, they had an interview with Ray J, and they ended up like cutting a lot of it, and they were like, yeah, Kris Jenner, like, she's pretty fucking powerful, and people don't want to piss her off. So, and he would know, right? Kanye was married to Kim for
Right.
years and in that circle, and probably knows so much more than he's allowed to say.
And in her defense, she does look great, no matter how you feel about her. I mean, I think she looks good for her age. So, if you can get those younger men, girl, go for it.
And honestly, like, if I were married to someone who then eventually became trans, like, I feel like that would fuck with me. Like, I think I would really be like, okay, girl, I better be on top of my game, looks wise, and like self-care. I need to like go to a therapist, whatever you need to do, because I think that would really fuck with my head. It's like, there were a couple of guys in college where I like made out with, and then like the next person then they came out. Like, I felt like, wow, am I the person that really sealed the deal? Like, that made them like, oh yeah, I hooked up with Chrissy, and now I know for sure I'm gay. I wonder if the feeling is like 10 times worse when you're like, I'm married to someone and then they became trans. Fuck.
Probably. Now she's got something to prove.
You know what? It's hard being Kris Jenner. Let's cut her some slack.
That's right.
Love you guys. Thank you for the chats. Thank you for the comments. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye. All right. Love you guys. God, I don't even want to leave. This candle smells so good. I don't want to leave. All right. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye. Love you all. Join the Discord. Feet. Love you all. Wow. You guys are awesome. Love you, get it. Bye, guys. Bye. Now I'm really leaving. Love you. Bye.